A Bolshoi ballerina has confessed to doing an acid attack or planning an acid attack against a ballet chief who didn't put him in some of the ballet roles that he wanted to be put in. Now, he was a soloist. His name is Pavel Dmitrichenko, and he actually had a solo in Ivan the Terrible, and he was pretty well known within the ballet community. But he worked with two other people to do this acid attack, and they used sulfuric acid to attack Sergei Filin, who is the ballet chief within the dance group.
You saw in the first picture. At first I thought he was the attacker, like, and if that dude's coming at you, how scared would you be? But it's actually the guy who got attacked. Those are the bandages around his face.
Oh, so sad.
And the guy apparently, the actual attacker, not the ballet guy, but the one he hired, did something like he heated up the acid so that it was even more potent.
It was more concentrated, which it just sounds horrible. And I don't. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some insight into the ballet world because I was part of it for like 17 years, right? And even though I didn't end up being a professional ballerina,
really?
I will, yeah, it turned out being like a chubby co-host. But anyway, it's a very, very, very competitive sport, okay?
I was going to say, am I a jerk for thinking?
You are a jerk because you have no idea what you're talking about. You're not part of that community. You're not part of that culture. You have no idea. But when you're...
I just want to tell him, calm down. It's just ballet. No one cares.
Yeah, but that would be as ignorant as me telling a professional football player to calm down. It's just the Super Bowl.
But wait a minute, though. Those guys get paid a ton of money. And so at least there's like some numeric reasons why they would care a lot.
For ballerinas, this is their art. This is what they live for. This is what they train. They literally train for hours upon hours. They dedicate their entire life to it.
Well, that's their mistake in the first place.
So some people would say it was your mistake to become a talk show host. How would you feel about that?
Boy, that stings. Okay, I would say that's understandable. It's kind of a goofy profession.
You're ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm actually surprised that like violent attacks like this don't happen more often because it gets...
That's crazy!
No, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to say this is okay. I be totally clear about that. I'm just saying that knowing the culture, knowing how competitive and cutthroat they are, you know, I'm surprised there aren't more Nancy Kerrigan type situations.
Now, I will purposely say something ignorant, as opposed to the accidental ignorance I had before. Really, can they tell them apart? I mean, they look, I know. They look identical to me. I mean, they're all tippy-toe, right? Okay, but really, is there that much of a difference that they're like, oh man, Bob, he was so competitive and he got that edge, and he just got a little higher on his tippy toe.
Okay, so basically what happens is when you're a ballerina, the most important thing is that you get the solos, right?
All right. Yeah.
And when someone else gets chosen for a solo over you,
that's
no, not acid attack, but you know, it's a huge blow to your ego, to your art. People like lose it. I mean, the reason why I liked Black Swan so much was because it was pretty realistic. And not realistic in that you turn into a black swan and then you like kill yourself. But
on the other hand, if
realistic,
the lesbian stuff's realistic, hey, all of a sudden a little more into ballet.
No, the competitive nature of it is very realistic, and people like lose their minds over it.
You know, that's why I like sports, because sports are at least where there's a winner, right? And it's not somebody else judging. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I did goofy things in tights when I was young too. I was a wrestler, right? But you know what?
Ballet is not goofy.
Okay, all right, anyway. So, agree to disagree. Okay. So, and you know how we decided who was going to wrestle? Not some Russian dude being like, oh, I like him in the tights a little better, right? No, you would do a wrestle-off, and you would wrestle, and somebody would win, and that would be that. Okay, so that's why I like competitive sports like that more. Okay, now, but getting serious for a second here, and it's a serious story because acid attack is horrible, hideous, right? But what's amazing is how people get wrapped up in their subculture and they can't say anything beyond it. Like, to them, that's the most important thing in the world. And if your girlfriend, and he was concerned about his girlfriend not getting some solo part or whatever it was, like, if she doesn't get it, my God, you have to break the law. You have to throw acid in some guy's face. When in reality, dude, nobody cares. Like in your context, they do. It's all, the whole world, and I get what you're saying, Anna, right? But remove yourself a tiny bit out of your context. No one cares. No one cares.
I know. That's absolutely true. But there are things that people feel passionately about, and when they're in their bubble, that's all that matters, and that's understandable. And not understandable when you're attacking people, but understandable that you care so much and you're so passionate about it. Look, within the talk show host bubble, I mean, this is my world, and I care about it tremendously. I think about it night and day. I don't expect anyone else to care. Sometimes I'm venting about it to a loved one.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. No, you're right, and of course, and I appreciate their competitive spirit as long as it doesn't get carried away. But like, I don't think that the talk show world is the real world. It's not like I'm going to go throw acid in Smirkanish's face.
You better not.
Okay.
That's
Did
my
you guys
man.
hear? He's moving to serious. Okay. Anyway, so and that's what I'm saying. I think they're getting carried away with it, obviously, right? And you got to realize sometimes what you think is really, really important is actually not necessarily life determinative.
Even more,
it's not as important as you think it is, to the point where you would do terrible damage to someone else.